Yeah, I think, I mean, you used the word teach, and I think today preaching is again becoming, or needs to be much more and more, a kind of catechetical moment. It doesn't mean that it's all teaching, not at all, but we as pastors, as preachers, we need to be aware that when we are speaking, that we include teaching moments. That happens in the sermon, but that can happen in the whole worship service. It can be that the preacher may, in the sermon, refer to something that has happened or will happen in the worship service. That's kind of one way of teaching, or putting together readings that were just heard with actions that are happening. The preacher can do that as the only one, in a sense, with that public voice in that moment, of being able to put together the actions of worship with this God's story, with the readings that we've heard. That can happen wonderfully in the pulpit during the sermon, but it can also happen at other moments as you move through a worship. So, yeah, that catechetical moment is important, but it cannot be, I think, just confined or limited to the worship experience. It needs to be linked to an ongoing catechesis, an ongoing educational program in the parish, where people are, I mean, obviously not the whole congregation will be involved in those, but where there's a good number of people involved to support and to further what's happening in the worship service. The other aspect of that is, of course, how to teach without being didactic, right? Without being, in a sense, condescending, without being the know-it-all in the group. And I take my cue there from Luther in the Small Catechism, where in the preface to the Small Catechism, where he encourages, admonishes actually pastors to their task of preaching in such a way that people are drawn into the worship, that they are drawn to the table precisely, that they desire, that preaching happens in such a way that the people want to receive the bread and the wine, the body and the blood. So the teaching needs to be, I guess in good Augustinian fashion, the teaching needs to be coupled with beautiful persuasion that draws people in.